everybody. This is the second panel of Mentor Me. I'm here with Dwelin and Haritha, who have generously given up some of their time in their day to be on this panel. We're just going to go around and introduce ourselves. My name is Shaila Sarati. I'm entering my sophomore year at UCSD in the fall, and I am a general biology major.
Hi guys, I'm Dwalin. I'm a rising junior at Duke. I'm majoring in environmental science and policy and economics. So that's two majors. And yeah, I'm here back home in the summer. I'm in Gujarat, taking online classes. I would love to share more about that with you guys. So excited to meet you guys and talk about major pathways and careers.
Hi guys, it's Haritha here. I go to Boston University. I'm a rising sophomore. I'm a double major as well. My majors are psych and bio, and I'm from India. I'm living in Coimbatore right now, which is in Tamil Nadu. If you guys don't know, so yeah. So I wanted to do medicine, and then TISB suddenly came up with a plan of having introducing psych and IB. So I was really excited. Psych has always been my area of interest because I've seen my brother study it, and my mom's in a psych as well. So it's always like intrigued me. So I was like, yeah, I want to take psych classes, and then that just changed my entire plan. I think school is one of the main reasons why I've taken psych now, and because I still want to do something in the area of medicine, but probably not like MBBS or something. I've taken bio as well because it's just really good to do bio and psych together because you kind of understand how things work and then why you do it with both the subjects. So, yep.
I have some sort of story as to why I chose my majors, but for those of you who know me, I just love scuba diving, and that's what got me interested in environmental science. But I've never really been much of a like hardcore science person. I didn't want to do hands-on field work or laboratory work, but I was interested in the environment and studying how the environment interacted with things like markets and economies, sustainable development, and that sort of stuff. So while environmental science and economics might seem like two ends of like a rod, it's like the two opposite poles. I actually think that makes it super interesting to try to bridge two very different subjects together. And there's a lot of interdisciplinary stuff that environmental science is all about because it combines physics, biology, chemistry, a little bit of here and there, everything, geology, climate science. So it puts all of these things together and then tries to connect it to like human systems like and society. So I think that's super interesting. So that is why I chose environmental science. And with econ, I mean, I already always liked econ. My dad and my grandfather, they all inspired me to pursue econ. They're all into business, and yeah. So I just want. So I think my environment and econ together is something that I'm just doing out of my own interest. Like I haven't even thought much about what I want to do with them. But I think they're super interesting, and I'm just enjoying what I'm studying. Okay, I'll start with econ because econ has more parts that I hate. Um, I guess I mean I'm not super fond of math, so econ, and I mean for those of you like who aren't familiar, econ is going to become all about math and statistics, and it's going to be nothing like what you do in the IB. In fact, like when I went to my first class, econ class in college, my professor said that you're going to have to unlearn everything you've learned so far because it's all wrong. And then he showed that it was all wrong, and I was like, okay, so I guess IB just really didn't matter. And but yeah, so that's the like econ is that kind of subject. Like it's all about assumptions, and then the more you go ahead and ahead, you keep breaking down those assumptions, and things get more complicated. So that then the major itself gets progressively harder until you finish your core, which is like econometrics is the last class where you like combine statistics, math, and econ. And after that, you're like free to go and explore all that you want to do in econ. So it's really important to build that core, and that core is what's the gruesome part about econ. With environmental science, like I think the only thing that I would hate is sometimes it can get vague. because again, it's a social science. It's more like a societal sort of major, and you're trying to bridge together a lot of different things to talk about the environment, and it can get confusing and vague. So I guess that's the only thing that puts people off sometimes about that major. But yeah, otherwise it's super interesting. So
So I'm going to start with psychology. I really like psychology. I mean, both are my favorite subjects, clearly because I'm doing it, but I would take more psych classes, at least in the initial parts of my college life, because it's just very interesting to read, and it does not like pressure you. You're not like under the pressure of having to take so many quizzes and tests. So I think that's a slightly better part about psychology, and it's also very interesting. Um, I think the worst thing about psychology is, at least for me, it's been very professor dependent, at least in Boston University, because you have a lot to read. No matter what course you take up in psychology, it's a lot to read. And the way your professor splits your work and makes you like take your course throughout the semester makes a huge difference, because that directly impacts on your semester's GPA. So in my first semester, I did not get a very good professor for my developmental course, and I found it very, very difficult. However, in my second semester, I took two psych courses, and it was such a cakewalk for me because the professors were very understanding and they knew how to divide the weight in the course. So I think that's something you need to watch. It's not that people who do not enjoy reading will not enjoy the subject, but it's more like uh, you need to balance everything you're doing in college. And reading takes up time. So you really need to figure that out. So I think that is one drawback I feel about psychology. Otherwise, it's just amazing. There are very interesting courses. Like I took criminal psychology and criminal justice, and I think that was very good because I learned, like I had a couple of my classes in the law school and I got to meet law students, and it was a great experience. So I think that's really good. With biology, again, the thing is, it's really funny because I don't like chemistry a lot. I think Shaila, you can buy
Same. Uh,
and the thing is, I need to take 9 courses to do a biology major in the sciences. So I need 3 math courses, 3 physics courses, and
ouch.
3 chemistry courses. So that's a little hard for me personally.
yeah.
But I think biology is amazing because it's not like school, where you have to study like, I don't know, evolution. It's not like that. Like you have the option to play around and do whatever you like. So I think that's good. And I think the biggest advantage of having these two together is because it's very interconnected and you have millions of opportunities for research and internships, your research assistant positions. Initially in freshman year, it can be really hard. It was for me. Like I did not get any RA positions because they always give preference to experienced people. So, but then the thing is, you have so many opportunities. Just keep trying. Don't give up. That's something I told myself. So yeah, I think this is a biggest advantage because like you have great research opportunities to do with both the subjects combined.
Well, IB was like, I don't know. I feel like it was such a long time ago. But anyways, yeah. I mean, because I was in school, like in boarding, there was so much going on, like with friends and stuff. Like, your entire life is centered around your friends, and like you're basically, I mean, you're living with them. That's why. And so it's often important that like you take care of yourself. You take out time for yourself, which are things we don't always know to do when in the IB. We're not always like focused on taking care of ourselves, going out to play sports, not doing IB. Like, that's always important to know when you need to shut off from doing your academics. So that's something I really tried to focus on, especially in my last year, because I also want, like, something that was important to me is I wanted to finish well. So I wanted to finish off on a good note. I wanted to finish off comfortably, and I didn't want to give myself unnecessary stress. Um, and I feel like it's really important to say this to students, because people, as I mean, even now, like school is getting unbelievably more competitive, and that's something that, like, at least with my grade, it was not that, like, it was not how it is today, and from what I hear from my friends and from juniors. And it's important to know that it's not about that. I mean, you just need to give it your best, but at the same time, you need to like do it in a way that you're relaxed and you take it step by step. And that's the same ideology I think I carry forward to college. College can be very intense, especially a first year. You have no idea what's going on. So my first week and first month, in fact, it was probably like the worst time at college for me, and that's just like honesty, right? It's going to be rough in the starting, and that's okay. So that's what you need to tell yourself, that it's okay because everybody's in the same boat. And you just need to, again, take it step by step. Just give it your best, do well in your classes, and then go out, spend time with yourself, try to make friends, find a group. So it's all of those things that you do. Like, it was for me, it was like, how I came to TISB in ninth, and I had to start again. I just had to start again in college, and I think that was somewhat frustrating for me and took a toll on my like state of being, or like just my mental health. But I think I got out of it. My first semester, I didn't do very well, but the next semester, I said, okay, it's time to just calm down and just, focus on certain things you want to do well. Once you start doing well in things you focus on, just like one by one, it gives you the confidence to do more things. And that's how you settle down in college. So I think that's really important.
I would definitely jump on and emphasize the step by step thing. And in the IB, you have like 30 things to do every single week or every single day. Like, let's be completely honest, you
Right.
have 30 things to do every single day, right?
Yeah.
And if you think I have to do 30 things today, then you're
Yeah.
gonna like have anxiety, which nobody wants that, right? So it is really important to take things but step by step, have the bigger picture in mind. I'm not by
Yes.
all means, I'm not saying don't have that in mind, but definitely take things step by step. I think is a really good piece of advice.
Yeah, I think I completely agree with Ron with everything he said about being at school and then the transition to college. I joined TISB when I was in sixth grade. I was like 11. And having known for like having a set of friends for like 7 years, and making new friends wasn't a big deal in school, especially when you were in boarding, if you know what I mean. It's like you're already in boarding. So if someone new comes, you're like, hey, hi, how are you? What's up? It's just it kind of just like bends in. Sometimes yes, it can be very challenging for people who are coming in, but it's just easier in school, personally, with my experience. So the first thing for me was I don't know how to go out there and make friends because I do not have anyone around me who I already know. In school, that was not the case. I had a bunch of people I knew. We used to hang out together. But do not worry. You will always find the set of people that are good for you. Just don't try too hard to fit in because
Yeah.
that can just really like stress you up and just you know make your whole college experience really bad. Don't do things out of peer pressure. I had a couple of juniors from TISB messaging me about how do we have to be a part of sorority or do we have to drink? No, you don't have to. Yes, Greek life is very big in BU, but then it doesn't mean you have to like join a club. I'm not in any sorority or club or fraternity or anything. Like that's not my thing, so I just don't do it. So it's okay, just be yourself because in college you have to be yourself. In IB, I think like my batch, to be very honest, we were just like chilling all the time. We didn't care. It's like mock two is like the prime example for it. I think our average would have been like, I don't know, like a 14 out of 45 for mock two. So do not be like that. Please don't. Uh, I mean, have the incentive Jwalin had. You have to finish well. You're you're in TISB for a reason. Do well. Go to a good college. Uh, yeah, but then like anyways, like the thing is the transition is really important. Just like don't lose yourself and like don't be like, oh, I'm going to be someone new, and like don't lose who you really are, because I think that happens with a lot of people. And let me tell you one thing, a lot of my friends who, you have these ideas of like, oh, if this one went to college, like they would be totally fine because they were very social in school and everything. No, it is completely the opposite sometimes. I know people who are complete introverts in school and now they're having the best time with the friends in college. And I also do know people who are like at the top of the social status in school, and now they're just like, okay, I don't know how to make friends. So, like, don't let the school do too much to you, because school is just a phase and college is another phase. Don't carry
Exactly.
over things. So, sorry,
Yeah,
were you
don't
going to say
take the
something?
same mentality to college.
Yeah, please
Keep
don't,
it as
because
a new
it
page.
won't work.
Yeah.
And in school, especially if you're in boarding, everybody gives a shit about your life. Everyone wants to know what you're doing and everyone cares about everything you do. But in college, it's not like that. You're on your own. It doesn't matter if you talk to one person today and you don't. Like, nobody will come and be like, oh, dude, why are you not talking to this person? Like, you're a bitch. No one's going to do that.
That's really true.
So it's fine.
Yeah,
It's
and I
fine.
want to add to that. I know you guys are not necessarily in small schools. I would say medium-sized schools. Like my school, my undergraduate population is 30,000. You will find friends, right? There are 30,000 people. You will find friends. Like just statistically, you will find friends. Like it is just like yes, it could take time. It could take a quarter. It could take a week, right? But you will find friends, and I think that's like one massive fear that everybody has going into college, especially if you don't know people already, right?
Hmm.
Especially if you don't know anyone when you like step onto campus. That's a massive fear people have. But you will find friends, and you will be okay in the long run. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fine. And BU is huge. Like, I remember my first day, like during orientation, I was just like, okay, I do not know what I'm gonna do. It's like so many, and the thing is, especially in orientation, you will have people who already have friends, and when you see that, you'll feel even bad.
Yeah.
Like, you'll just be like, shit, what am I gonna do? I have nobody here. But just hold on, you're going to find your group of friends. Explore, don't just stick to academics and club. Explore, that's how you meet new people. Join clubs and give it a try. Anything, no matter, don't be like, oh, that's not my thing. Like, just give it a try. You won't know if it's not your thing if you don't give it a try. So just go ahead, I
I
guess.
actually totally agree with that. Like, you know how you're supposed to like at least take your first semester to explore. If you're going to college that gives you that opportunity to like explore, you should really make use of that. Like go meet people. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, and also don't shun yourself away. It's okay. I mean, like for example, I wasn't happy with the people I was hanging out with for at least like a month. And when it was during that month, it was it was not a good time. But I told myself that it's going to be fine, because again, how Shaya said, it's statistically impossible to like be like alone unless you want to be alone, which is a different thing. But yeah, so be open, because people will come to you, you will go to people, and there will be interactions happening everywhere. Everyone's trying to do something, and that's the good thing about college, is like everyone's there for a reason. They're there to do something, create something, learn something. There's a purpose. So just like stay with that, and just take it step by step, and you'll make friends, and things will settle down. You will have a good time. I feel like the way school works is that like you don't think about these things until you're told to, like in the 11th grade when they finally bring it up, and still you're like, oh, I have time, maybe I'll think about it. You like search up one or two things online, you're like, okay, this seems and then you're like, okay, and maybe this is good for me, this is good for me. And some people, like, I don't know, like like my sister Ayushi, like for her, she wanted to do everything, and I was like, and I was in this sophomore year, and I was like, that's not going to happen. And and when I was in the IB, I started thinking about what I wanted to do. It's okay. That's first thing you need to tell yourself, is that it's okay to not know what you want to do. Just stick to what you like for that time. For example, like you could be interested in like computer science all through till like the 12th grade. So stick to that when you're writing about it in your application, because that's something you're passionate about, and at least for now that's something you may want to go into, and that's good enough. When you get to college, it's all a fresh start. Whether you're a computer science major, a statistics major, or even like a a gender and sexuality major, it doesn't matter, because you're going to be in the same boat when you start, and full you have this whole time to go out there, take different courses, and figure out what you want to do. All of that time for you is there in college in your first year, and you shouldn't have to force that upon yourself in the IB. So just stick to things you like, and because those are things you'll be able to write about better.
In context, though, I will say we are talking about the US. So if anybody here is not interested in applying to the US and interested in applying to the UK, it's a different perspective. But Haritha, what do you think?
Yeah, mine is a little different because I wanted to do medicine for the longest time, but like Joel said, I kind of went back to what I liked, what has interested me. Like I never got an opportunity to learn psychology till school introduced it, right? So I I didn't think about, oh no, I need to do medicine, I need to have three sciences, but I just jumped and like picked psychology. I did psychology, and because of that, although right now I have no idea what I want to do for my career, I feel like I've just found something that's I would have I would enjoy more probably if instead of doing medicine that I've done this here. Like I feel like I'll be enjoying this more compared to medicine. So and also I realized after taking psychology, it's like I cannot stick to one thing and just learn that one thing. I need something, I need new areas to explore within the field. Like with psych I can do that, with medicine I can't, because like if it's in India I need 4 years MBBS heads down, that's all I got to do. But now that I'm taking psych, I'm taking another major with psych, and I get to explore both the subjects in equal amounts. So I feel like that's a good thing. And it is really okay to not know what you're going to do. Do not take any pressure from anybody, your friends, family. It is absolutely fine. Now that I'm doing bio and psych, slowly I'm getting my own ideas. Like for example, with biology, I'm not sure about other universities, but BU, you have an option to do a specialization in bio as a bio major. So you can do neurobio or molecular biology or behavioral biology, or a specialization with environmental and ecology within the bio major. So I feel like that's really helped me. Like now I know what I want to do. Like now I know that I'm gonna head this way, probably to like forensic. So I'm just exploring those areas. So eventually you'll find out, and it's really okay. So just do what you like. I think that's really important. That's where
Yeah.
everything begins. Doing
Start
what
with
you
what
like.
you like and just keep following
Yeah.
where it goes. Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. And I will say I knew like even in 10th grade I really like drama, but then I wasn't able to take it in the IB. But in college, like even before the first day I like walked in, I declared a drama minor because I could drop at any time, and because it's something that I'm interested in. So at least wanted to have the opportunity to explore it. And I will say that's another huge benefit of U.S. colleges is flexibility. Obviously, you have a
Yes.
lot of flexibility in U.S. colleges
Yeah.
when it comes to exploring. And also when it comes to deciding your major, for me, it's my second year. I'm thinking for you guys, it's also the same. Like you have like until the end of your second year. I don't know. It's a
Yes.
little bit different for like every college, but that's how it works. You have 2 years to decide, to really decide on what you want to do. Like that's so much time. So I would say that's a big advantage of U.S. colleges.
Personally, that does not affect me, but I will let you guys know some things I've noticed. So in my psych lectures, there are more girls than boys. So I don't know if you've noticed this, but I know this from school too. Even in school, like there were like three guys in my psych class, and everyone else were like girls. So um, I mean, don't take this too much in your head. Like it really shouldn't matter to you, because you're just going to be doing what you like. And yeah, my university does not highlight on that, because I'm not sure about the current data, but like when I was applying, the ratio to males and females, there were more females in Boston University. So I'm not very sure about the statistics right now. So that shouldn't matter. Like, don't get the whole gender thing in your head, because it shouldn't matter. But uh, so there's a frat for bio, a fraternity for biology. In that, like, I don't see any girls. Like, I hardly see any girls. Like, I I wanted to check it out. Like, and there was only guys, and I was just like, oh, okay. Like there was like one or two girls, like that's it. So I was just like, okay, this is like, why is this different? Because with all my psych classes, it's just been the opposite, and over here it's the opposite. But lecture wise, I don't see much of a difference in biology, but yes, in psych I do. But it doesn't affect me at all. Like, I've never even thought about this till you asked me right now.
Yeah, I
So yeah.
will say that, like, and again, but I think it's in all universities. I think there are specific opportunities for women in STEM, and I
Yeah.
noticed that in my research, in the research that's offered, events that are held on campus, and yeah, I think research events and like I don't think we have a women in STEM club, but I know we have like a woman for coding club. Like I know that's something that we have. So like if you are and if you do want to look into that niche, there are many places I think in most US universities, like whether it's clubs, research, or events that you can go and that you can like talk to women in STEM. I know that like my university hosted a mentorship panel with women in STEM where you got like one-on-one counseling from somebody
Yeah.
in the professional field already. So really cool stuff like that I think is important to keep in mind. That's yeah.
You asked me the exact same question my major advisor asked me. And I was just sitting there and staring at him for 2 minutes, but now I know what I can
Okay,
say.
great.
But yeah, so for me, yeah, I think I do want it to be part of my professional life. And I do want to combine both of my fields as part of what I do in the future. So like with respect to like how I would go about making career choice, um one thing that's unique to environmental science people is like it's a very new and upcoming field, so there's constantly evolving career options, and sometimes it's really hard to navigate that because, for example, there's no preset pathway like pre-law or pre-med or something like that, and you don't know where you're going. So one thing that's really important is to talk to people who are in the field, because that's the best resource that you can have, is to speak to people who are already experienced. With respect to like what I want to do, like things that I can go into like right now that I'm looking at is like stuff like consulting, where I could actually get to put different insights from different fields together. Consulting is so broad that you can actually go ahead and specialize in the future into some form of consulting. It could be sustainability consulting and stuff like that, where you actually try to like, put business and environment together. And then another option would be to go into research, where I would like actually want to do things in environmental economics, but for that I would need a PhD. So so there's so many different things you learn when you talk to people about like, I want to do this, what do I need? You need to go to grad school. Okay, I want to do that, what do I need? Well, you need a PhD. So different career options have different like requirements in the industry, or at least where they stand. And just by talking to people, I've realized that there are lots of options I can do, and whether it just depends to what extent do I want to have environmental sciences in my career. For example, if I only want to focus on the environment, then I would go into like environmental consulting, which would be all science based, um, soil, water, and stuff like that. Or like sustainability, is a whole new field of its own, where people like do design stuff and stuff like that. So that's more like for people who are into design, engineering, environmental engineering. So those are all sorts of things. So that's what I mean when I say environment is so broad that you could approach it from a computer's perspective, from a business perspective, from an econ, or even from a research and just like a consulting perspective. So there's a lot of different ways to approach the environmental sciences. People even go into like working directly in the field, so becoming conservationists, working with NGOs, being in the field, like being in literally working with Nat Geo. Like those are super cool things. So I think that's a lot of diversity, and that's something that excites me now rather than makes me anxious. But approaching junior year is like when you start to think of all these things. So yeah.
Benefits of having two subjects. Okay, for me, the thing is, unlike Jualin, like my subjects are kind of interconnected already. So if you see, psych is like the human behavior, right? Bio, it kind of helps you understand why that behavior happens. It's all about what goes on in your body. So this I'm saying that I'm not saying that's what bio is about, but I'm trying to tell you that when you take it up with psych, this is what you end up learning. So I think it's really good because I mean, think about it. What's the point of knowing, just knowing, okay, how, okay, this is how we behave. Yeah, okay, good. It's just better, you get a better insight if you try to understand why that happens. So I think that way bios really help me. Like even when I'm learning a particular theory or a concept in psych, at least for me, I always tend to relate it to what kind of happens that makes me do this. So that's when your hormones come in, you know, for example. So I feel like for that, it's better if you have a bio background. But apart from that, bio and psych are different in many ways also, because there are other things that you do in both the subjects. People do psych and marketing together. So that kind of, you kind of deal with only behavior there. You don't need like, oh, why, like which chemical stimulates which behavior. So I feel like it kind of depends on what your interests are. And personally for me, it's just good because I'm planning to go either into like clinical psych or like forensic. So having both of these subjects together would benefit me. But otherwise, I think it's good. Like you just tend to learn more than what you would do with one major. You can learn a lot with one major, but with two, you kind of you know, stretch yourself in like two fields, you know. It's like, and you have more career options open. Like if you have both the background, you can be like, oh, by the time you probably do you're going to do postgrad, you'll be like, okay, psych is not my cup of tea anymore, I would like to do something in bio, or like bio is not my, or the other way around. So I feel like it's good that you have two, you can play around. It does not have to be two majors, you can even do one major, two minors, anything, just play around. It doesn't have to be sciences, it can be completely different. You can even, like, I know one of my friends in college, she's a bio major but she has a film minor, so it's like completely different things. It's okay, play around. Yeah, so taking two majors or two subjects, I'm not going to say majors, two subjects, it'll really help you.
I would say personally, I'm a huge like advocate of interdisciplinary learning. Like that's something I extremely like support, and I think that is how learning should be. So I have pretty strong views on that. But so I think for the juniors who are listening, even in the IB, you like so if you're in like if you're entering the 11th grade now, when you make your subject choices, even there you have the chance to like put together things that don't really go well together, or also you would assume. Like for example, like in my grade, there were only like three of us who took biology, econ, and math at the higher level. I don't know how it's now, but like when I was there, like you know, some people would ask me like, why are you doing these things together? And I was like, because you know, I just like like these things, and so I just chose them. In college, you'll understand like the whole benefit of interdisciplinary learning is that when you just focus on one subject, you become solely engaged in the insights from that subject, and that's sort of like a tunneled perspective. But doing more than one, doing two different things and trying to connect them together is actually really good for you, because that's actually how the world works. The world, like for example, like the reason why I chose like econ environmental science, like if you look at all the problems today in the world, like energy, like sustainable energy, poverty, hunger, climate change, all of these problems are super interconnected. um, for example, if you just choose like climate change, that involves like business and pollution and all sorts of those things. It also involves how we adapt to those things, so societies. It involves culture, and it involves policy making. So it's all about how different fields come together, and that's where like your learning really like happens in a really like amazing way. Is because you learn to connect things from two different fields and actually synthesize that information. So I think that's really advantageous to do things that are different but have somewhat of an overlap, because ultimately that view is going to help you approach problems in the future.